Browser band for FightHype.com. With me, I've got my man Spencer Fearon, aka The Knowledge. What's happening, Spence?
Raz, always a pleasure to speak to you. Big up FightHype. I mean, big up FightHype because you're the people who actually watch the videos on FightHype have they got a better vocabulary and they are more intelligent than people who are on other social media platforms when they see my videos, because I don't get any racist comments about me, so therefore I have to big up FightHype and all the fans of FightHype because you guys are sensible.
I appreciate that. Spence, we're here at the Landmark Hotel in central London for the press conference for Dillian and Whyte versus Chisora on December 10th. A lot of security here, there's a lot of expectations here. I heard even you say earlier on,
I'm disappointed.
It's going to kick off.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I came here, I wanted to see fireworks. That's what I wanted to see. I didn't come all this way for nothing. You know what I mean? I wanted to see fireworks. I wanted to see chairs thrown over, you know what I mean? Water being thrown in the hair, all around somebody's hair, and Chisora doing his favourite lines, I'm personally going to shoot you. I wanted to see all of that. I wanted to see, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, jollof rice and curry goat and chicken flying all around the place. I never get to see none of that. I didn't see none of that. I didn't see no warrants out for people's arrest. I'm upset. It came in like Carnival, you know what I mean? Only 2 people got shot at Carnival. What's it coming to? I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Dillian was saying quite a few things there to Derek to kind of wind him up, get him going, and it seemed like Derek was just sitting there.
No, because Derek's seen it all before. Derek's been in world title fights. You know what I mean? Derek's been in one of the biggest British fights in this country for a long time with him versus David Haye. You know what I mean? So Derek's been around the block. And with that, it comes experience. You become worldly wise, and he's thinking, well, then I don't really need to. Especially when somebody's looking for it to be antagonized so they can kick off. Derek's saying, I'm not falling into that trap, and that's experience. You know what I mean? You know, like young bucks do young things, old bucks do things a bit slower, but they do it with wisdom.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So obviously this fight that's happening now on December 10th. Both fighters wanted it for a number of weeks. I know there were negotiation issues and money issues. That's now resolved. Fight's now happening. Dillian probably going, moving fast in his career after his loss to Joshua. Had 3 or 4 good victories, signed with Matchroom. Derek had that loss to Pulev in Germany. Has 1 or 2 victories since. How do you see this fight actually playing out?
Yeah, but that's the major thing you're saying. Like, he's lost to Pulev, but then he's had 1 or 2 victories since, and that's the most important thing. It's not like he's going in there with in the back of his head like, oh, I lost my last fight, because sometimes that does play dividends on you. He's going in there with right, I'm going in there. I've won 2 fights going in here, so I don't feel that bad. Derek Chisora he's complex. You can see that he's a complex kind of guy, right? He knows he's gonna have to bring his A game to this because it is kind of like last chance saloons for him. So he has to know, like, he's got to go out there and give it 110%. He has to go and give it. And Derek knows the key shot for him will be that overhand right. And sometimes Dillian can be susceptible to it because Dillian will throw his jab down from a short arm range. So the over the top right hand could be the key shot for Derek. And the jab is going to be the key shot. Definitely, the jab is going to be the key shot for someone like a Dillian Whyte because he has a very, very good jab. And he doesn't get given credit for the jab that he administers. He got a shooting, sharp jab, and we don't really see heavyweights throw uppercuts. And Dillian administers the right uppercut beautifully. We saw that in his last 2 fights, especially in the Dave Ryan fight, because he's practicing things now. So because he's becoming more refined now, we're not used to it. A lot of us can't comprehend it. Why is he being so refined? We're used to him as guy that trying to bomb out guys and stuff. No, he's trying to think. Next year, if Floyd Mayweather continues, because Floyd Mayweather's got bare love for FightHype, right? It'll be 21 years that he's been in a professional game. The man's got all his faculties. Why? Because he's mastered the art of not hit and not being hit, but he's also mastered the fundamentals and archived the fundamentals to his preference of knowing his punch dexterity is higher than anybody else's. So because of that, and that's what Derek's trying to do. Derek's looking and saying, well, hold up, let me just start throwing my jab a little more. These fish and chip fighters who come in there face first, pay first, son, they don't get 25 fights and then they're done. Dillian's looking for longevity in his career. He's linked up with a very good trainer. Now he's going with longevity and he's learning the fundamentals. That's what's going to make him dangerous because he knows what? Worst comes to worst, I can revert back to the rough and tumble.
How do you see the fight playing out on the night?
Oh, it depends. It depends what Derek's got left. But knowing that Derek is back with Don Charles makes me feel a little bit more relaxed that it's going to be an entertaining fight and that he will come to give it. And you'd have to favour Dillian Whyte because he's the younger, fresher man, right? But you also got to look at the fact that Derek has got a very good chin, and it's going to be work rate, and you can see like can Dillian administer that work rate to cut down or to make Derek some muster, and if he can, then he's going to win the fight. But if Derek can put it on him early and let him know we're in a fight and tap him downstairs to the body, he's going to have to create distance and then close him down at range and dig down and rough him up, be a bit roughhouse on him, throw body shots, throw hooks to the top of his chest as well. Then we don't know what kind of fight we're going to get. I think it's going to be an entertaining fight, but I do slightly favour Dillian, but it's going to be an exciting fight.
I spoke to you many weeks ago, I think it was late September, early October, and I said, Spence, big rumours in the boxing world about Vladimir Klitschko fighting Joshua. You told me then that fight is not going to happen, it's too soon, it's too big, it needs time to build, and you were right. Once again, Spence was right. AJ is now stepping into the ring with Molina on December 10th.
That's not Andy Joshua's fault why he's fighting Molina. Andy Joshua will fight anyway. Let's be real.
Yeah.
If you're Andy Joshua, you're gonna fight Klitschko tomorrow. You know, maybe you've got Vladimir Klitschko waiting for you now. He'll jump in the ring and fight him. Andy Joshua will fight anyone. That's what he's like. He's a war. That's what he's like. But then we have to look at the business attributes of it. And the business attributes means like a fight of that magnitude, even though he was beaten convincingly by Tyson Fury, he is still the heavyweight champion of the world in a mindset of people. Yeah. So Andy Joshua is yet unproven commodity. And the reason why it's a good fight, because I think he has an unproven commodity against a commodity that is proven. So it brings interest. So a fight of that magnitude, I'm saying it's going to be hard. And not only that, I also know the Klitschko's are very, very difficult negotiators. And Eddie Hearn is still new to the game. He's done excellent in the game, but he's still new to the game. And I know like they'll pull strokes. This is how it goes. And then it was a case of like they wanted everything. The Klitschko's wanted everything. I mean, like if you even saw the ice cream in the arena, they wanted 25% of the ice cream being sold. They're difficult negotiators. So then it's going to be hard. It's not like that. It's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. But that's why I knew.
And he did say that they had come over majority of the obstacles, and the only thing that was they were waiting for to be confirmed was the WBA decision to sanction their belt. Okay, and they didn't. The WBA didn't sanction it, and then so it died a death, right? I think that kind of fight could have been so valid just for the IBF title. Why you don't need a title? Yeah. You know when you're that big, you don't really need a title. Andy Joshua needs a title right now. Klitschko's got a name. There's a difference. When you got a name like that, you don't need no title. Yeah. Obviously, Molina's now announced as Joshua's opponent for December 10th, and a lot of people are looking at Molina's round or moments where he troubled Deontay Wilder.
Well, he troubled Deontay Wilder. He knocked out Thomas Adamek, and before getting knocked out in 2012 to Chris Arreola, he hurts Arreola as well. So you know what? One thing about him, you know that he's going to come and give it to you, and I think it's more to do with the fact like we all want to see the David Price fight. Me personally, because I'm not Brexit and I'm definitely not boxing, right? Right. So I want the money to stay in this country. This is how I'm rolling. I'm sorry, that's all right. I want the money to stay here in the UK. David Price would have been viable, but then David Price kind of outpriced himself. But not only that, but then when you're looking at Showtime saying, can we really show two British guys fighting for the heavyweight title in America? Yep. Realistically, if it was a guy that was unbeaten and was not, and David Price of 3-4 years ago was just knocking out everyone, he was an unbeaten guy, then cool. But David Price subsequently has lost 3 fights. Regardless that it's been to 2 men who have failed drugs tests, he still lost those fights, even though they're not showing up his record because they failed the test. But that's why. So it didn't happen. So when people are complaining, oh, this is terrible for pay-per-view and this is blah, 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 and all the rest of it, people still need to realize that Anthony Joshua has surpassed this, I need to fight this guy and this guy and this guy, for the simple fact that Anthony Joshua at this present moment is still in the embryonic stages of learning the game. Right, and for order for him to be a great, let's just take our time with him. You know what I mean? What was it? Riddick Bowe, first 2 defensive Riddick Bowe fights. Michael Dokes, who's been subsequently beaten up really bad by Evander Holyfield, and he fighted Jesse Ferguson, who got that win, and it was a proper win, but there was controversialness to the win because inside the win that he had against Ray Mercer, he tried to bribe him. Remember that? Yeah. Tried to bribe Ray Mercer. Right. So, but that's who really both defends the title against, and we said, it's still embryonic stages for Anthony Joshua. Let Anthony Joshua learn. When Anthony Joshua fights, it's an event, you know, because you're there, you're covering it. I see you out with your accreditation for FightHype, running around interviewing everyone, and when you're there, you realize like how many women come out, how many little young kids come out, how many old grannies come out. Anthony Joshua crosses the whole platform, and it's not just about, he unifies the whole country as well. Yes, if Eddie Hearn said after the Dominic Brazil fight, this is what I'm doing, son. Now, Anthony, you're gonna fight Eric Molina.
Is that the impression of Eddie?
Nobody would have complained, right? Nobody would have said nothing about it. People would have been cool, right? We'd have said, oh yeah, cool, right? But because we were so gassed up to think, right, here is going to be Vladimir Klitschko is going to be fighting Anthony Joshua. We were too gassed on that. So no matter who you bring after that, ain't never going to be good enough. Unless it's David Haye, and David Haye's now signed the legend. Well, he's signed with Frank Warren now, I believe so, right? So that fight's not going to happen for now. So who else is there? Whatever heavyweights are out there, especially around the world, that's going to get us so gassed up that what's going to happen in a short space of time. Take the Eric Molina fight, do a spectacular job on Eric Molina, but don't fool the public and say that this is going to be a tough fight. It's not going to be a tough fight. You're going to brush him, but you need to brush him precisely. Seriously, you got to brush him like you're a London street cleaner. Street cleaner. That's what you're going to have to do.
Another announcement made by the WBA this week was to sanction the fight for the regular belt, heavyweight belt, for Lucas Brown and
That's excellent.
Shannon Briggs.
How good's that? I think that Shannon Briggs he's old school, man. I'm glad for Shannon. I'm glad, like, you got to think, here's a man, right, that after the Klitschko fight ballooned up to whatever weight they ballooned up to,
400 plus pounds.
Right, exactly. We're at 400 plus pounds, right? Went through a massive depression. You know, had to go get a 9-to-5 job in an office somewhere, and now. So those kind of things, regardless, whatever happens, it's a success story that a man just went out and said, right, I'm going to go and hunt down everybody who's of any validation for me to be validated, and I'm going to hunt you down for me to get the recognition. I'm going to hunt you down to get a fight, and it didn't happen with David Haye. But look at this, man. He's reached there. You know what I mean? You know, like the silver lining. He's there now, man. He's got a world title shot, even as a regular for the regular belt. But he's got a world title shot, and he's got a chance. Even though you would favour Lucas Brown because of the activity and the better type of opponent that Lucas Brown is being. But when you can punch like Shannon Briggs, anything can happen, man.
Obviously, Shannon was told many months ago that to fight on David Haye's undercard, and it
didn't happen. Didn't happen, and that's sad.
Now, do you blame Shannon? Because he put a media statement out and he said, when I beat Lucas, David, I'm not giving you a chance to fight me for the belt. I'd rather retire as a world champion. Almost similar to what Tyson Fury did.
If the money's right, then he'll fight him. I guarantee you that. But you know what? Big up Shannon Briggs. Right now, Shannon Briggs, forget about David Haye. Concentrate on the job in hand, and the job in hand is Lucas Brown. And we see what happens from there, man. But I think Shannon's very entertaining. He's the most entertaining guy in boxing, because I get little kids who don't really watch boxing, but they're saying, let's go, champ. The guy's excellent.